There's only one thing worse than a lack of choice, and that's too much of it. We've all been the child in the sweet shop. We want it all, but have to choose. It's not so very different when we come to pick our investments. At Fidelity, we offer more than 2,000 funds from over 100 managers. It can be hard to know where to start.
100 grams of the apple and custard, 200 of the aniseed balls, and one of these, please.
When you suffer from the tyranny of choice, it's good to know there's someone who can make up their mind. Aisha Akbar is the manager of the Fidelity Select 50 Balanced Fund. Aisha, how do you go about picking and mixing the managers for the fund?
It's a good analogy, pick and mix, Tom, because that's essentially what we're doing. The first stage is picking the managers, and that's the job of our manager research team, 12 analysts whose day job it is to scour the entire investment universe looking for the managers that they think will outperform over the longer term. And all of this research boils down into a high conviction list of active managers covering asset classes such as global equities, fixed income and alternatives.
Okay, so once the managers have been picked for the Select 50 list, it's your job to mix them.
Exactly, so mixing them, providing different asset classes exposures. So on average, the balanced fund will have half of its exposure in equities and risky assets and the other half in more defensive assets such as fixed income and cash.
Okay, so how do you go about mixing those strategies to create the fund?
So the mix of asset classes really depends on two things. Firstly, I have to think about how markets are going to behave over the shorter and medium term. So I can increase the exposure to equities, for example, if I think the prospects for stock markets are good over the shorter term. The second thing I have to think about is how to combine the managers together. And this is not just about picking managers that are going to outperform, because it's involving understanding how managers are going to react in different market environments and blending them together to make sure we have good balanced exposure to the markets they represent. So we've picked the managers, we've mixed the asset classes, we've put it all together in one neat package.
We all like the idea of lots of choice, but sometimes it's much simpler just to leave it to the experts.